Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's take a look at this number patterns question. Question 2.2 reads, a quadratic sequence with a general term Tn has the following properties. T29 is 1166, Tn minus Tn minus 1 is equal to 3n minus 4. Determine the value of the first term of the quadratic sequence. Now, what we can do first is write out our terms. So T1, T2, T3, and so on. And it'll look something like this. So T1, T2, T3, dot, 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 T29. And of course, it continues. Now, we don't necessarily have to know the values. We're just setting it up for now. We know the value for T29. And now we need to figure out what the second point means. Tn minus Tn minus 1. That tells us that the difference between two consecutive terms is 3n minus 4. So we can set it up like this. So the difference between T2 and T1 is 3n minus 4. The difference between T3 and T2 is 3n minus 4. And I've put in the value for T29, 1166 on the side. Now what we'll do is let's just focus on the first two terms. So T1, T2, and their difference being 3n minus 4. Now, when n is 2, remember n is just a number, right? We can substitute a number in. So for example, we are interested in term 2 and term 1. So we can substitute when n equals 2, the equation looks like this. T2 minus T2 minus 1 equals 3 into 2 minus 4. Remember, this is still the same format as Tn minus Tn minus 1 equals 3n minus 4. It's the same thing. I've just substituted 2 because I want to figure out what the difference between T1 and T2 is. Now we can simplify. T2 minus T1 equals 2. That means that the difference between term 1 in the sequence and term 2 in the sequence is 2. So let's clear this up. And I've replaced it now with 2. Now let's focus on T3 and T2. In this case, we'll substitute n equals 3. When n equals 3, our expression looks like this. T3 minus 1 equals 3 into 3 minus 4. Again, I'm reiterating, it's just the same format as point 2. Tn minus 1 equals 3n minus 4. We can simplify here. So T3 minus T2 equals 5. This tells us that the difference between T2 and T3 is 5. Let's clear this up. So this is what we have currently. Now, since we have values for the differences, we can start calculating our A value, B value, and C value. We know that the A value in a quadratic expression is equal to D2 over 2. Now, D2 is going to be 3 because the difference between 5 and 2 is 3. So A is equal to 3 over 2 or 1.5. Let's keep it as a fraction for now. Let's clear up some space. Now, if we want to calculate B, we can use the equation 3A plus B equals the first difference in the first row. So that's going to be 2. So 3A plus B equals 2. That's our formula. Now we can substitute. We worked out A is 3 over 2. So 3 into 3 over 2 plus B equals 2. We can solve for B. B equals minus 5 over 2. Now, there is a formula for C. However, since we are given T29, let's solve using that value. So the formula for a quadratic expression, as you know, is Tn equals an squared plus bn plus c. We worked out A, we worked out B. Let's substitute those in. So Tn is 3 over 2 n squared minus 5 over 2n plus c. Now, since we know the value for T29, we can substitute that into our current expression. So T29 is 1166, and that's equal to 3 over 2 into 29 squared minus 5 over 2 into 29 plus c. Remember, n is 29. We can now solve for c. C is minus 23. That means our quadratic expression has the formula Tn equals 3 over 2 n squared minus 5 over 2n minus 23. Now all we need to do is we need to work out the first term. So we'll work this out in the top right corner. The first term, T1, is going to equal 3 over 2 into 1 squared minus 5 over 2 times 1 minus 23, meaning that the first term is equal to negative 24. And that's it. Thank you for watching. If there's something you'd like me to do specifically, leave it down in the comment section below and I'll try to get to it. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, share, subscribe, please. Until the next one, bye-bye.